How many of productions have you seen? At
There've
least
been,
at
I
this
don't know how,
point.
there've been more than, it gets done, I would say, a couple times a year.
Okay.
Um, and it's been done it was translated into Italian a couple years
Right.
ago.
Yeah.
That happened. I've only seen one production of
Okay.
this. I only
Right.
saw the first production, which was at Stage West in Fort Worth, which is
Hmm.
a great theater in Fort Worth um that they did it completely unrelated to me being from Texas. It was one of those weird,
Oh, it just happened.
it just happened. That's the only production I've seen. And and all the readings with Chip and Allison. So,
Hmm.
and that was 20, I don't know what year that was, but it's been a minute.
Do you have a question for me for like about the play? Like, is there anything that you've always been dying to know about?
Well, I'm very curious how, I mean, the world never changes and yet everything changes,
Mhm.
and it's a play from a different moment in time. And
Yeah.
it's, we have different conversations now collectively um about relationships and about normalcy. And I'm just very curious. I mean, this is part of what I'm curious about in seeing it, but I'm curious for you being so inside it. Does it feel like, in a way, a period piece? Does it feel current? How does it land?
No, it doesn't feel dated to me at all.
Okay,
It
well, that's
doesn't
good.
seem to exist. I think part of it is, and I put this in the program too, is how you describe the time and the place is that it's last fall. So it's
Oh,
not like
last fall.
last fall
Okay.
from to me, that's not last fall from like the publishing date. That is literally to me
It's last fall.
last fall.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
So the conversations are age old. I mean, those go way back. I can't imagine how far back that sort of conversation goes between a couple, all the way back to like, caveman times,
Yeah.
even. So,
I remember there's sort of two pieces of that. One is that I was and really still am a musical theater kid. And so, but what I was drawn to, like in kindergarten, discovering, Into the Woods, like so many kids, but my draw was like, oh, there's a witch, there's this dark figure. And
mm,
I was obsessed with Phantom, not just the Lloyd Webber, but the Yeston Phantom, which I was in as a fourth grader. There's a young Phantom character in that. So I was sort of, I didn't think anything of it, but even as a kid, like a theater kid, I was into this sort of these macabre characters. And I grew up in Houston, Texas, and at the time, I think they still do, but at the time, the Alley Theater every summer had summer chills, and they would do
mhm,
mysteries and thrillers in the summer. So I grew up seeing not only Agatha Christie's every summer, but they would do these obscure these forgotten thrillers like The 13th Chair, which is a very old thriller that nobody knows, which is
mhm.
extraordinary. And that thrill, I mean, those plays just sort of got into my psyche in a way I think that nothing else did.
Mm.
And so um it was through that, and then sort of moving to New York and going, well, where are those plays? And then, sort of dove into my research on the Gronchignol and the history of horror theater and the history of thriller on stage. And then, indeed, as I said before, like, well, what the hell happened to? Not that they don't exist, but it's
Right,
not.
right.
There's not
They're
the sort of
buried.
the
Yeah.
what?
They're buried, right?
They're really buried.
Yeah.
Yeah.